Hello everyone, my name is Tran and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll show you how to make a cute tiny bedroom / study room in Blender. So let's go ahead and get started. I already talked about the setting and how to navigate in Blender in my previous video, so you can go back to check them out. We will start with the default cube. Press S2 to double the size, then move it into the position. Go to edit mode by pressing tab, press 3 for face selection, select these 3 faces, then press X to delete, then select the bottom face, press B to separate selection, go to modifier properties, then add a solidifier modifier, turn on even thickness, change the thickness to 0.2, then shift click to select both items. Then press Ctrl L to copy modifier. On the side face, we will change the offset to 1. Then we apply the modifier. Press Ctrl 2 to add subdivision, then add bevel modifier and move it on top. Set the amount to 1, segment to 2, limit method to weight. Then go to edit mode, press A to select everything and move the mean bevel weight to 1. Finally, under profile, increase the shape amount to 1. We will do the exact same thing for the bottom face. After we're done, we will change the name of this object. Now we have the wall and the floor. Select the floor, press tab to go to edit mode, then select the top face, shift D to duplicate, then press P to separate selection. Select the new object, go to edit mode, and then press Ctrl R to add loop cut. Scroll the mouse wheel to increase the loop cut, then press Ctrl B to bevel it out, then press X to delete faces. We add loop cut horizontally. Start with 1 loop cut and then 2 and then continue to the end. Now select all the loop cut, Ctrl B, bevel it out again, and X to delete faces. Then press A to select everything, E to intrude up, A again to select everything and increase the mean bevel weight to 1. So we finished with the wooden tile. Let's change the name. Select a side of the wall, then Shift D to duplicate and B to separate selection. Select the face that we are just created. Rotate 90 degrees in the y-axis by pressing R, Y, 90. Then use S to scale to create a rectangular shape. This is gonna be the frame of our bed. Once done, use G to move it to the side and go to edit mode. Press E to extrude up, then A to select everything and increase the mean bevel weight to 1. To create the mattress, duplicate the bed frame and use the Z arrow to move it on top. Then remove the bevel modifier and use loop cuts to define the shape. On the side, go to the X-ray view by pressing Alternate Z on the keyboard. Then select the top face and move it up to give it some thickness. Next, select the bed frame, then select this face to duplicate and separate. You can enter the isolation view by pressing / on your keyboard. With the new face being selected, go to Edit Mode, press 2 for Edges selection, then select the bottom edge to delete and bring up the top edge. Remove all the modifiers. Back to Object Mode, press Ctrl A to apply the scale. Then go back to Edit Mode, press 1 for Vertices selection, select the top 2 vertices, press Shift Ctrl B to bevel them out. Go back to Object Mode and right-click to convert this to curve. In the curve properties under Geometry, set the resolution to 2 and the depth to 0.1, then convert it back to mesh. Press Ctrl 2 to add subdivision, then Ctrl R to add a loop cut in the middle of the headboard. Turn on X-ray view, select bottom edges, press F to fill, press Ctrl R to add 2 loop cuts, then bring down. Add 2 more loop cuts in the middle of the legs. Press SZ0 to straighten. To create the remaining legs, select these parts. Shift D to duplicate and use the X arrow to move to the other side of the bed frame. Select the top, press F to fill and Ctrl R to add loop cuts. Right-click to shade smooth and then make some minor changes if needed. Shift S and bring the cursor to selected, then Shift A to add a cylinder. Under cylinder properties, we don't need a lot of vertices, so let's change it to 8. Under Cap Fill tab, change it to nothing. Rotate the cylinder 90 degrees in the X-axis, then use S to scale down. S, Y to scale in the Y-axis. Make sure that it is not picked out. With the cylinder being selected, Shift D to duplicate, rotate 90 degrees in the X-axis. Shorten the height, then move it to one side. Add an array modifier and move it on top. Change the factor from X to Y. Increase the count to around 7. Then drag the Y factor until all the cylinders are nicely spread out. For me, it's around -2.22. Let's start making the blanket. First, select the mattress, then go to Edit Mode, 3 for face selection. Select the top face and 3 side faces, but we only go for 3/4 or 4/5 of the length. Shift D to duplicate and B to separate selection. Then adjust the length to your liking. Go to the side view, turn on X-ray mode by pressing Alternate Z. Select the bottom edges and bring down so that it covers more of the bed. Add solidify modifier and bring it on top. Increase the thickness to around 0.11. Ctrl R to add a loop cut and use the X arrow to slide over. Use the vertices to make the blanket look less perfect and more natural. I made a mistake, so there are faces at the bottom, which is not correct. So let's go ahead, select all the faces at the bottom and press X to delete. To add more details to the blanket, go to Edit Mode, 3 for face selection, alternate left click to select this portion of the blanket, then alternate E to select extrude faces along normals, then bring it out. In the setting, check Offset Event, then Ctrl R to add a loop cut and slide over to clearly define the shape. We don't want the legs to be out like this, so let's hide under the blanket. Go to edit mode, select these two legs, S, Y to bring it closer, and use the X arrow to slide in. Next, let's start making a simple pillow. Start with the mattress. Go to edit mode, select this face, Shift D to duplicate and P to separate selection. Right click and set origin to geometry. Then adjust the size and press E to extrude up. Ctrl R to add two loop cuts, one on each side. Then use S and the according direction to pull it toward the center and create a pillow shape. Press 1 for vertices selection, select the center vertices. Turn on proportional editing by pressing O on your keyboard or click on the icon at the top. Use the mouse wheel to change the radius of influence while pressing SZ to increase the size so that it looks like it is inflated at the center. Adjust the size until you find something that you like. Now we have one pillow. Duplicate to create two more and arrange them nicely on the bed. Let's make a little blushy. Shift A to add a cube, S to scale down. Ctrl 2 to add subdivision modifier. Because we don't want the blushy to be too rounded, press SX to scale down in the X-axis. Apply the modifier. Go to edit mode, press 1 for vertices selection, select half of the vertices, then press X to delete. Add a mirror modifier, change the axis from X to Y. Now everything on one side will be mirrored to the other side. This is extremely helpful when you do character modeling. We are making a bunny blushy, so let's make the ear. Select these faces, eye to intrude. Use the Y arrow to slightly move it toward the center. SZ0 to straighten, then move it up a little bit. E to extrude up, then extrude again and scale down in the Y-axis. This looks a little bit funny, but when we add subdivision modifier, it looks a bit more like a bunny now. Use the vertices to change the size to your liking. Once done, right-click to shade smooth. Let's make eyes for our blushes. Shift A to add a circle. Change the vertices to 8 and fill tab to angle. Rotate the circle 90 degrees in the Y-axis by pressing R, Y90. Scale it down. Go to edit mode, press E to extrude, I to intrude, and then bring it out. Ctrl 2 to add subdivision, right-click and set origin to geometry. Go to the top, select the snapping tool, set it to face project, then turn on align rotation to target and project individual elements. Now when you move the eye around, it will automatically snap onto the face. Add a mirror modifier. In the mirror object, click on the selection tool icon and select the face. Then change the axis from X to Y. Duplicate and change the size to create the face blush. Now we are done making the bunny blushy. Let's put it on the bed and tuck it inside the blanket. Select all the objects of the bed with the blanket being selected last. Ctrl P and set parent to object and change the name. Now when we click on the blanket and move it around, everything that is attached to it will be moved as well. Select one side of the wall again. Shift D to duplicate and P to separate selection. Rotate 90 degrees in the y-axis, then right-click to set origin to geometry and move it down to the other side of the room. To clearly see the shape of the object, let's temporarily turn off the real-time display modifier in viewport by clicking on this icon. S to scale and create a triangular shape. Ctrl R to add a loop cut and slide over to about 1/3 of the object. Select the smaller edge and press E to extrude. We are going to make an L-shaped desk. A to select everything. E to extrude down to create a desktop. Ctrl R to add another loop cut. Select this face. Shift D to duplicate and right-click to cancel the movement. E to extrude down until it touches the floor. This is going to be our drawer unit. A to select everything and increase the mean bevel weight to 1. Ctrl R to add another loop cut and slide up to divide it into 2 units. Select the frontal faces. Pressing I 2 times to intrude the face separately. Then E to extrude inward. A to select everything and increase the mean bevel weight to 1. Select the inside face of the top unit. Shift D to duplicate and right-click to cancel the movement. Set origin to geometry. Go back to edit mode. E to extrude out. Increase the mean bevel weight to 1. Ctrl A to apply the scale. Select the top face, I to intrude, and E to extrude down. Again, increase the mean bevel weight to 1. Now we have a drawer unit, which you can slide in and out or put things inside. Now let's make the handle for that. Select the front face, Shift D to duplicate and right-click to cancel the movement. S to scale down and bring it up, then E to extrude out. Select everything and increase the mean bevel weight to 1. I want the desk to look softer, so under bevel modifier, I decrease the shaft to 0.5. Now let's create the legs for our desk. Select this face, Shift D to duplicate and separate selection. Right-click to set origin to geometry. To turn it into a square shape, under dimension set Y equals Z. Scale down and move it to one edge of the desk. Then go to edit mode and press E to extrude down. Alternate D to create 2 more legs and move it to other edges. Set parent object and change the name. Let's move on to create a shelf. On the desktop, select one face, duplicate and separate selection, then move it up. Use S to scale and create a rectangular shape. E to extrude down. A to select everything and increase the mean bevel weight to 1. Turn the shape back to 1. Ctrl A to apply the scale. Now let's make a chair. Shift right click to bring the cursor on top of the wooden tile. Shift A to add a circle, then scale down and bring it up. In the edit mode, press E to extrude up, then I to intrude. Select 3 outer faces and press E to extrude again. Ctrl Q to add subdivision, then Ctrl R to add loop cut to define the shape. Select the bottom face, press I to intrude, then right click and shade smooth. With the chair being selected, Shift S and bring the cursor to selected. Shift A to add a cylinder, then scale it down to create the leg of the chair. Select the leg, Ctrl Q to add subdivision, right click to shade smooth, then go to edit mode. Select the bottom edge, F to fill, then Ctrl R to add a loop cut and move it down. Add a mirror modifier. In the mirror object, select the chair. Then turn on the X and Y axis. Select the chair again and press Alternate R to reset rotation of object. Then Ctrl A to apply rotation. Now move the leg into position. Once done, set parent object and change the name. To create a window, Ctrl R to add a loop cut on this side of the wall. Press S, Y, 0 to straighten the edge, then Ctrl B to bevel it out. Add another loop cut that is perpendicular to the last one, then also bevel it out. Select the two opposite faces. Ctrl E and select Bridge Edge Loops. Press A to select everything and increase the mean bevel weight to 1. Alternate left click on the inside faces. Shift D to duplicate, B to separate selection. Then alternate E and select Extrude faces along normals. Then extrude it out. A to select everything. SX to scale in the X-axis, then increase the mean bevel weight to 1. We can see that the window frame is not entirely cover the wall, so let's select the inside faces. Press S, Shift X to scale down while maintaining the X value. With the inside faces are being selected, Shift D to duplicate and P to separate selection. Then A to select everything and F to fill. Scale down in the X-axis. Move it back. In the edit mode, Ctrl R to add a loop cut at the middle. Press 1 for vertices selections. Select vertices on one side and press X to delete. Alternate left click to select this edge. F to fill, A to select everything and increase the mean bevel weight to 1. Now select two opposite faces, I to intrude, then ESX to extrude inward. A to select everything and increase the mean bevel weight to 1. Now duplicate and move it to the other side. We finished making the window. Select all, set parent object, and rename. Select the window, Shift S to bring the cursor to selected, then Shift A to add a cylinder. Rotate the cylinder 90 degrees in the x-axis, then S to scale down, SY to scale the y-axis, and use the Z arrow to bring it up. This is going to be our curtain rod. Ctrl R to add a loop cut in the middle. Then delete half of the curtain rod. Add a mirror modifier and change the axis to Z. Add a loop cut and slide over. Select this loop. Alternate E to extrude faces along normals. Then extrude out and add another loop cut to define the shape. Bring the cursor to the center of the curtain rod, then add a blend and rotate 90 degrees in the y-axis. Scale down to fit. Add loop cut, use the mouse wheel to increase the number of cuts. Select alternate edge and use the X arrow to bring it out. Ctrl A to apply the scale, and Ctrl 2 to add subdivision modifier. A to select everything and E to extrude out. Ctrl R to add a loop cut and bevel it out. Shade smooth, then bring it into position. We finished making the curtain. Now let's add it to the window parent as well.